Hey, my name's ShawNshawN. I do art on ShawNshawN.co and I also do specials on eBay. Today I'm going to review Cold Pursuit. So Cold Pursuit is the latest movie by Liam Neeson, also known for, the big Taken series. So he's always known for all these revenge movies. So one of the curious things that came out right before the movie premieres is he does this interview. They're building up drama for the movie, obviously, and all the actors do little interviews. And he's the lead actor in this, right? So he admits to when he lived, I think it was in Ireland, he came home, his sister was raped, and he was really pissed about it, right? And he just like primal anger. And he's like, who was it? Who was it? She didn't really know, right? And he's like, what color was she? Oh, it's a black guy, right? And so then he admits to going around the street for about a week with a crowbar or something, like a big stick. And he's looking for any black guy to fucking beat up. And you're like, dude, why would you admit this? So basically he just trashed all the freaking African American or African audiences. Are going to be like, Liam Neeson, right? I don't know if he's permanently going to lose because maybe that story will fade over time, but it's a pretty bad story, right? I had a similar experience when I was younger. I had a friend who was black and he was involved in a rape murder, but I didn't think all black people were like, go and get them all, right? So, it kind of looks like latent racism. And I was in Ireland in the 90s, not in the 90s, in the 2000s, right? The millennium. And we were just touring around as tourists. And the jokes there were just like, dude, they were like 1960s humor, basically. So there were jokes about fat people. So it was like totally like un-PC compared to American culture for that. And there was, some kind of silly jokes about blacks that are kind of like what you'd expect in the 60s, maybe. Not even the 70s. You're just like, damn, dude, you just said what? And so he came from that culture, so I could kind of get how he came to those conclusions, but still it's like, dude, why would you admit to it? That's just really stupid. He's tarnished his whole reputation, he's tarnished the film, but on the other hand, it's like, why was he walking around the street looking for a black guy for a whole week? I mean, I know he was frustrated and really angry about what happened to his sister, but they made a good point online as, if a white guy had done this, would he go pursue and beat up any white guy? No. But anyway, I'll just leave it at that. He might have cashed out, but he's already done pretty well in the Taken series. So let's get into the movie, right? So is this kind of plot, it's a kind of a reworked version of Taken, right? So you're just like, oh my god, another revenge film with Liam Neeson, but it always works, right? I think revenge movies are always a big thing because, people in their real life, in reality, always face injustice themselves. So in a movie, you got a revenge kind of vendetta movie, people get a dream about, oh, what if I got a revenge on this person? I just kill his whole family or something, right? And they think about it, but they're not going to do it, right? Most people. There are some wackos out there, but generally it's probably less than 1% of the people who actually act on those revenge thing, at least at that level of killing. So the movies kind of allow people to live through that, and so I don't see those type of movies going away anytime soon. They're always going to be popular. So the story is this guy, he has kind of what he thinks is an ideal life. He met his wife, he has a kid, he does snow plowing, and he has his own snowplow, but in a small outskirts of Denver, so it's in this really small ski town, right? And so he's a one-man job, and he thinks he has the ideal life, which is like, dude, you're just running the snowplow business. But for him, he's very satisfied. And then all of a sudden his son turns up OD on heroin. Coroner's like, he's a druggie, and he's like, no, he didn't use drugs. And he's like, all the parents say that, right? Which makes sense that people would assume that their kids are drug free and they're not. So he's about ready to, he just can't take it, right? Because his wife's not happy with him, they're both fighting, he doesn't see any purpose to go on that his son's died, right? So he's actually going to end his life. So it has a really strong build up there. Then all of a sudden Kyle, his son's friend, turns up, and he said, no, it wasn't, Kyle wasn't involved in drugs, we stole some cocaine, right? Like, totally stupid. You're gonna steal cocaine from drug dealers, right? But it's plausible. Stupid teenagers, seeing they make a quick buck and actually get off the deep end, right? It turns out it's the local mafia, so he starts chasing them down, right? So classical kind of Taken movies, going after all these. He's working his way up the chain, and then at some point there's the two gangs, and the one gang thinks it's the other gang, so they start this counter drug. So then all these gang members are at war, and so it's kind of interesting because you have the Native Americans as the other gang. So it's like, it's pretty interesting that you have kind of these jokes with, they have like a India from India working for them, and they make kind of jokes with, hey, let the Indian do it, and off the reservation, on the reservation, these kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of jokes, which is kind of sad. It's in American English, it's kind of a standard, like, on the reservation, went off the reservation, and it's like, it's just not good language, right? If you look up the definition, you'll see what I mean. It's very racist. The weird thing is you have these police, and the local police aren't going to be that smart, right? However, it's like as time goes on, they start learning more facts, but they don't put kind of 2 and 2 together, really. So in this part of the film, I think it's a little weak that the police don't kind of catch on as time goes by. It would have been more interesting, kind of like how Fargo, the police get more and more closer to the criminals, and so that would have been, I think, much more interesting to add in there. Have a stronger, smarter police force. They had some really funny scenes, some funny jokes, tongue-in-cheek. Final scene is really, you're like, where's this film going at the very end, you know? You're thinking they're gonna have the shootout, and instead it's just one of the gangsters dies in a really funny way. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fun to watch movie. I don't know if I feel bad for Liam Neeson because he shot his own career, but I feel bad for the people associated with the film. But maybe they knew about this and they shot it anyway, because that's why he's so strong as the Taken guy, because he's always thinking about like, I want to get the black guy for his sister. So, which probably makes sense as far as his motivation as far as doing this plot, and is very believable. But yeah, you don't want to say that in an interview, man. It's just so un-PC and so it's just straight up racist. But he already made his money. I mean, if he would have done it the first Taken, he would have really shoot the pooch, so to say. But he's already made his money on 4 or 5 Takens and a couple of revenge films. So I think he's not doing too bad for cash. But yeah, I'm sure the producers aren't going to maybe not work with him again. Anyway, hope you guys like my review. Give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe below. And I'll see you on the next movie review. Thanks for watching, guys.